Hello and welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. This brew has been brought to you by our friends and partners at Drive Centric,
Fixed Ops Digital,
Certified Solutionaries, and PSX Digital. If you want to consume more brews or want more information about how to build your brand on our podcast and want to see how you can sponsor the brew, go to carguycoffee.com. Let's brew! What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
and it's Fred Leonard, subprime hero.
And we are excited to be bringing to you from PSX Digital this another great episode where we're gonna get a little crazy today, everybody. It might get a little insane in the
loco, right?
Okay? With these two incredibles, we are bringing to you another DealerCast 2.0 with the one, the only Larry Bruce.
And of course,
accompanied by, not for rhyming,
what's up, boys?
He's just bringing solutions. The one, the only, Jeff
Loos. That's right.
Welcome to the party, everybody.
Excited.
Well, here we go.
Let's do this. We are live everywhere, folks. Right now, we need to tag a car guy,
Tag a car gal,
and share. Get this out there. We're on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We're on, you name it, we're there. So share, get it out there and let people know we are ready to bring you guys some crazy stuff. Let's talk about what's going on crazy in dealerships. Let's talk about what's going crazy everywhere. Let's talk about the definition of insanity today. And I can't wait to bring it to you guys. We're going to have some fun. Let's get loose.
Here we go.
All right.
Yeah. You know what the definition of insanity is? I think everybody does. It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yep.
And amazingly enough, we do it every 30 days. If that is the definition of insanity, then car and vehicle dealership people in general are the craziest people on the planet.
crazy.
Because we do it every 30 days. Every 30 days, we end the month and say, we're going to have a better month next month. We're going to somehow do everything we did this month and have a better month next month. And then sometimes that happens, right? We have a better month. And then we think it's all us. Yeah. Oh, okay. That stuff we were doing.
Oh, yeah.
It's finally kicking in. It's working now.
Not a plan. Plan is a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's so funny. It's absolutely almost comical. And we should laugh at ourselves for this because we know. We do. Right. So you don't get mad. I look at it. It's actually pretty funny. But now what are you going to do about it? What's going to be different? I think Jeff has a great saying. What's your saying, Jeff? What are you going to do?
I typically ask people at the end of the meeting, if they're pushing back, I say, hey, tell me in the next 90 days what you're going to do to affect change in your world. If you don't go down this route, what's your plan? Hope is not a plan. A plan is a plan. So if you choose not to do what I am excited by, what's your plan? They very seldom have a good one. It's a good challenge.
Yeah. What's funny is a lot of them, you know what the plan is? I'm going to change website companies. I'm going to change CRMs because that's going to fix it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, that little link I clicked on last week that broke it. Hell, that cost me 16 deals right there. No question. We did this and it cost us thousands and thousands of dollars. And you go, I always want to say, and I never do, but a lot of times I'll think back in my head, it's a poor craftsman that blames his tools. Again, while these things are tools, and PSX is certainly much more than a tool, at the end of the day, if you're going to continue, if you're going to take a new process or a new piece of tech, and you're going to implement that piece of tech the same way and try to make that square peg of that tech fit in your round hole because this is what I'm used to, and that's going to affect change. No, it's not. You're just going to be right back where you were before. You took somebody else's tech, beat it all up, knocked all the edges off of it so it would fit in your round hole. Then you got the same result, and you're looking at the tech. You're looking at the tech provider, going, "Hey, wait a minute! This was supposed to be different. This is how we were supposed to get more. Why didn't we get more?" You're still doing the same stuff. You're just using somebody else's tech to do it.
So true.
There's a
Amen.
couple pieces to it,
And
right?
that's-
So if you're going to go source new technology and new providers, you're there to sell and service vehicles. That's what your primary focus is. Take care of your customers and your employees. If you get a new partner, find the partner that you can trust and you believe that they can help you go to another level, and listen to them and have those conversations, but then hand it off and let them do what it is that they're to do. The second piece to it is, if you do buy new technology, make sure you understand it and what you have to do from your end in order to make it work the way you bought it to do these things. We have to do some things to help let it do those things. It's a little more complicated than people think, but the key is get a partner you trust and listen to the partner.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we'll start by listening to the partner, start by listening to the way listen and training. You know, it's so funny to me. We've actually gotten down to we're at the point now where if everybody doesn't show up at training, including the person that signed the contract and to kick off, and everybody doesn't show up in training, I've had installers just leave the dealership, just walk out. You know, I mean, if you're not going to take this seriously, then we're not going to sit here and waste time in your store.
Let's lean into that.
Your sales.
Okay. The reason for that is the person that signs the contract, that heard the pitch, that loves it, that believes it can affect change. If they're not there to introduce the meeting and to tell the team, hey, this isn't the next CRM, it's the last CRM, and here's why. Here's what we're going to have to do. Listen to these guys, because it is going to be a culture change, and I need you to be on board and understand it. He has to say that. Yeah. We can't say that. So if he's not there,
it doesn't matter if we say it. Yeah. And it's funny how many times early on, in every situation where that person didn't show up, we had trouble. And in 80% of those situations, the dealership ended up canceling. Yep. Completely understand. Nobody was there to let the salespeople know and the personnel know that this is the way we do business now. And so they took what you had and went to try to go do it their same old way. And then it doesn't work the same way. And of course, they didn't listen in training. They didn't listen in webinars and they didn't take their cloud trainer courses seriously. All the things we do to try to set them up for success. They didn't take any of that seriously. It got here, and all of a sudden, all the things that you were supposed to be held accountable for, you're now being held accountable for. And you're mad about it because you think it doesn't work. I pushed this button, it didn't work. It doesn't give me what I thought. Did you listen to training? No, because that's not the button you're looking for. What are you trying to accomplish?
No.
I'm trying to accomplish this. Okay, here's how you get there now. I'm trying to get this done. That was already done for you. I want to see this. Why do you want to see that? Because I need to find out if I didn't do something here. Anything you didn't do already got done by the AI. Oh, I want to change this. I want to be able to stop this to do this. Basically, you keep telling me all the things you want to do, and I'll eventually end up asking them, why do you want to do these things? Because this is what we did before. You mean the part that wasn't working?
You wanted to change? Reason why we're speaking?
You wanted to change. You wanted to change things, but then when the change got here, I wanted to take the change and make it do what I was doing.
And Larry, I want to point something out to that, because if we were to run a track record of saying from the 60s, the 70s, what was the average that a salesperson was selling per month? With none of these tools, writing it on paper.
Oh, God, I think that's the next podcast, isn't it? You're pushing through the next podcast. It is.
So the definition of insanity.
A little sprinkle of what's happening next.
Yeah. So it's 2024. Yeah. What's the average?
Mm-hmm.
8 to 10 cars.
10.
Depending on where
10 cars.
At. 10 at best, right? And with that, we've had all kinds of technologies. We've added all kinds of different tools.
And still 10 cars.
Why is it still 10 cars?
Why is it still 10 vehicles?
That's the craziest part.
How is it that we're not able to make the pivot? And this is something that we beat our heads up against, because we keep doing the same thing, whether it's also working the hours that we work, because we are convinced, especially those that closely monitor the hours of work that people do, that they're not working the whole time that they're there. Right. There is a nagging inside of my heart that says we need to adjust how we look at the daily schedules. And if this particular culture isn't going to turn into everybody's going to average 15 to 20, like at one of the cane stores, right? And where they have processes, they have techniques, they have tools that they do the things to get to that level. We were at that level at the peak before things started to change, before COVID came around. We were getting our salespeople to that across the board average. Of course, you had your superstars and you had some of your lower and sales pros, but we started to focus on the average per, and that got higher. The thing that we keep looking at is making the job easier without actually doing more job, without actually sowing more seeds. We have the tillers, we have the combines, but we're sowing the same amount of seeds that we were sowing with our hands and sowing just with our shovels and our picks. And we're only harvesting so much. It's such a conundrum, because the thought is, man, I really want to go to the next level. I really want to, but I'm only really going to eat 3 meals a day. So no matter how much more food is available for me, I'm probably just going to eat 3 meals a day, because that's what I have an appetite for. And that's what I have a comfortability level at for. I've watched my son put on pounds of muscle by disciplining himself to eat more and to have a hunger to do more so that he could put on that weight. But not everybody has that discipline. 3 good meals, I'm good to go. Handled it all, bills are paid, feeling right.
Yeah.
But
you don't have to have you're not going to have you're not going to have a team of superstars. If you think you're going to go hire yourself 10, 20 car a month guys and keep that, you're not. It just, that's silly to even think about it, right? The reality is that you are going to have a team of a couple of really good guys and some ordinary people. And then ordinary people with extraordinary processes will produce incredible results. And caveat, I didn't say that. Just, I have a version.
You just said it.
Ziggy, I just said it.
You did just
Ziggy. Uncle Jim, that's actual Jim from Jim Ziegler.
You know, and
that's where I heard it put that way.
It's truth, though. It really is. The thing about everything we're talking about today, to you dealers out there, because we've all experienced it. The only reason we can even talk about it is because we've been through it ourselves personally. We've made the mistakes, but we've learned from those mistakes. We've learned to get better. So it's okay right now to every one of you all who's going through that rigmarole of insanity, right? You know what it's like. I don't care if it's month to month. It could be year after year. You're saying, why am I not growing? Why am I actually sometimes falling backwards? It's because you keep trying to do the same thing. And to Larry's point and to everyone's point today is that even when you implement something new, you're trying to do it the way you did it before. Got to stop that. You have to be completely open-minded to how business is done. I listened to a show the other day, I think it was on Clubhouse, and they were talking about how well, when you're looking at the way Carvana has done business, that if you looked at their numbers they just dropped over the last quarter, they're crushing it. Front end and back, they are beyond what you guys could ever imagine. I think they're hitting right around $5,000 per copy. Their wholesale reports are phenomenal. They're doing big things when it comes to that. Now, that doesn't mean they're doing a better job all the way around, like selling more cars than all of us, but they are taking a huge market share and bringing a service that no one else is giving, right? Or everyone's trying to give. So we can still learn something from that. What are they doing and how are they doing that? And I love what they're doing. I think it's great. And I think it's cool for us to look at all perspectives to get different. So if you guys want to get away from being normal, look everywhere. Look at your competitor, the successful ones, and see what they're doing.
Yeah. The funny part about that is when all that went down, is you look at and I think there's several LinkedIn posts, several other posts where people would say dealers were celebrating. They were celebrating Carvana's problems. They were celebrating Carvana. They were rooting for them to go out of business.
I know.
And telling everyone, oh, these guys they don't know what they're doing. They're going out of business. And I think I put on one LinkedIn post. It's like, look, guys, people that businesses that come along and sell 30 to 50,000 cars a month, they don't go out of business. They figure it out. They will figure it out. They will get this right. Because here's what they have proven. This is the way people want to buy a car. That's what they did prove. 1,000%. And you chose to, instead of embracing and understanding, this is how someone wants to buy a car. This is how consumers are telling me what I want to do. You did the dealer thing and you decided to ignore that and root for the guy who basically almost sold himself out of business. They are the guys with Carvana who almost sold themselves out of business. But they got their processes straight. They got their titling processes straight. They got they're probably nowhere near where they want to be, and they're nowhere near perfect, but they're in a spot right now where their stock prices are changing. And these are guys, they're not after the franchise car dealer. They're after the independent.
Mm-hmm.
Where their business, where they are going to take business from is from each individual independent car
Amen to
dealership.
that.
Yeah, pure market
Amen.
share. You're right.
That's where they're going to get their market share. They have no interest in trying to go against the Auto Nation. Why would they?
Right.
It's a hell of a lot easier to go pick off all the independent dealers or pick off a little bit from each independent dealer than it is to go head to head with Auto Nation, who has as much, if not more money than you do. That's not the place you want to go. And so it always amazes me that we celebrate the problem instead of dissecting what was good about what happened and say,
Right.
how do I go get that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do I go make my dealership do that? Now, the sad part about it for the independent dealer is that there's no 1 or 100 independent dealers that could band together to go head to head with Carvana. And in true dealer format, their first question is their first thought is, we can't go spend that kind of money on TV to drive this kind of process, to do all these things. That's why Carvana does. They just have more money than I do. You can give it any excuse you want to. The fact of the matter is, they're still going to kick your ass.
Mm-hmm.
So stop with the excuses. Find out how you can start to get in there, guerrilla market, get in there and do what they do, provide the service they provide. There's no sense in giving up the business to them because they have more money than you do. That's silly.
Right.
Go head to head, keep what you can, or hell, sell out if you want to, or do whatever. I mean, if you're just going to give up because you don't have billions of dollars to spend, okay, that's fair too. Realistically, to say they have more money than I do, so I just throw my hands up, I'm going to keep doing what I always have done. That's the definition, again, of insanity. I'm going to keep doing what I've always done, even though what's showing me right in front of me is that a change is needed, but I don't care. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because it's eventually going to work.
Yeah.
Your perception becomes your reality. And in this case, you challenge yourself to say, hey, what are the commonalities of what they're doing? Now, what can I take away from that and do that? And Larry, I'm hoping you're going to talk to the e-retailing, because I think that's pretty exciting. Some things that could lean into that for the independents as well.
And I agree. And I think that Larry definitely needs to jump into that. And what we're talking about in Carvana, and what you just said, Larry, I thought was very important, is that don't keep doing what you're doing because you think it's going to eventually work. It's insane. But yeah, Carvana is just going to keep getting more market share because you're going to keep doing what you're doing. And eventually,
What do you mean? Do you think Carvana did anything magical?
No.
Something that is just beyond belief.
They made a plan to work in the plan. It's not hope. I mean, we know that.
They made it so simple that some people like it. That's the thing. Like, people don't always have.
No, they're doing the same thing. They're doing the exact same thing every single customer has ever done. The same thing that the very first customer you ever took, Lou, the very first up you ever took, Fred, the very first up I took in 1980 in the lower 80s. that's just
78. Let's get back there. When you're out there lot up and you get
That's when it was horse and buggies.
Easy. But the very same thing that happened to me in the early 80s happened to Fred, happened to Lou. It's the same thing. Every customer says, what's your drive out price? What's the out the door price? You know, all Carvana did? Just gave it to them.
There you go.
Here. I said, okay, here you go.
Yeah. How much do you give me for my trade? This much.
Here, this much. Right. They just answered the question. Our speed to lead studies, we've done 2 years of that now. And a part of that study is is our question, are the customers getting the answers to the questions they want, and what questions they want to know? How much for my trade? How much is my payment? How much is it going to cost me? Those are the 3 questions they always say they want to know. What did Carvana give you? How much for your trade? How much is it going to cost you? And what your payment's going to be?
And pretty please don't make it take 3 or 4 hours when I come in to do it and keep me in office.
Right. No, you can get it right on the website. Here you go. And but wait a minute. I love this one for you get this when this happens, right? Oh, that's going to cost them gross. Nah, that's going to kill them. Those guys would be lucky to do anything. I don't know. I think $5,000 a copy is pretty damn good. Call me crazy.
And they get back end. I'm telling you, folks, they don't even have finance managers, and they're getting back end. Their back end is just as big as their front. I think it was right at the same number almost when I looked at I can't remember the report, but I saw it and I was like blown away by what their reserve and what their all that stuff. You're like, whoa, they're doing something special, y'all, and we need to start paying attention to that.
But see, that's just it. If they're not doing anything special, they're just answering the customer's question. It's so freaking easy that we look at it as dealers. Right? We look at it as dealers and we think it's special. We think it's special. The customer's just going, no. When I go back in the 50s, when I went to the grocery store, the price was right there on the loaf of bread. I didn't have to take it up to the manager at the cashier and negotiate over the price of the loaf of bread. The price of the loaf of bread was on the price of the loaf of bread. He was right here.
Before. You couldn't have done this in the 50s. You're not that old.
Come on. I go to Amazon and there's the price. I don't get on chat and try to negotiate with a dude over the cost of the widget on Amazon. Right. That's the price. And I push a button and it shows up in my door. Okay. Guys, it's so simple. It's sitting right in front of you. And yet you continue to push back on it. Like somehow you, as a collective body of dealerships, are going to change what consumers want. I'll just go ahead and say it. No, you're not. Consumers are going to always get what they want to get. They're always going to get it. Now, in this case, it took a long time, but as when we went from controlling all the information to the information starting to loosen up, when the information was all out, once the information was all out there, you lost it. You have no more control over that. Now, it took 24 years, and we got another podcast on that one. It took 24 years to get to this point. There'll be more evolution. The industry, the business doesn't stop changing. It's always changing. It changes faster now than it changed before because of the prevalence or the pervasive information that's available to us, right? So it's sped it up to an alarming pace. And all Carvana did was get ahead of their skis a little bit.
What did you say, Jeff? Yeah. You said something there.
And so now.
Yep, I agree with you 100%, brother.
So many things baked into our system.
Yeah, but again, when you say that, when you say that though, when you say the consumers are more educated, you know what the dealer thinks? What do you think, Fred? When somebody says to you, consumers are more educated, what do you think? What do you think of immediately?
My first thought, to be honest, is that I'm still better at my job than they are at buying a vehicle. So I can help them buy a vehicle better than they can figure it out themselves.
I get that. Yeah. Realistically, and I might not be asking that question the right way, but most dealers, when you say the consumer's more educated, they think about the car or about the vehicle. The customer knows more about the coefficient of drag. The customer knows more about the torque. They know more about the engine displacement. They know more. You know what? I'm gonna bust another bubble. No, they don't. They didn't care. They already know what they want to buy. They know more about how to buy it than you do.
Or how they want to buy it.
That is a 100% fact. They know when they walk in that door about what their trade is worth. They know about what their interest rate they can get. They know about what they can buy the vehicle for. They already know. That's what they're more educated about.
Yeah.
Then they're at first, in most dealerships, they're more educated than the salesperson. The salesperson can't really. We tell them, don't quote payments. Don't you dare quote payments. Don't you dare quote interest rates. Don't you dare quote. I mean, we're telling them, don't give the customer any information. Hold it all. They already know, man. You don't know. You don't have some magical thing now.
10 years ago, the line that, hey, Kelley Blue Book says my car's worth this, and you push back and say, great, Kelley Blue Book's not willing to buy your car. This has evolved far beyond that. Really,
they are. You know, they are.
Yeah, they're not going to buy your car. They are.
Yeah. and if they don't, CarMax will. And if CarMax won't, Carvana will. So there's somebody to buy that car.
Right. Okay. So, with that, let's agree. There's some insanity out there, a whole lot of insaneness, right? And we're trying to right the ship. We know that there's problems. That's why we're here. There's percolating problems out there. We're here to grind out and actually provide a solution, brew a solution.
So what's the solution?
Yeah. So Kareem, real quick, congratulations on the new baby. He's jumping in from Arizona,
Nice.
actually at the store that we'll be visiting tomorrow. Congratulations. Got a car guy in the making on the way. He just brought a new one to the world. Excited about that. But excited that you're here. You're very welcome, Kareem. I'm excited.
Congrats, Kareem.
For you, man. That's awesome. It's bigger than business, baby. But with that, how do we break it? Because people like Kareem are trying to figure it out too. He's younger in the business. He's trying to figure out how to use all the technologies to be able to take his business to the next level, leading his team to the next level, and also challenging himself to get the most out of every moment he's at the store. And as all sales managers that are supposed to be the ones in that position are, it's constantly busy, constantly doing something, constantly working on something. It's just a matter of if we're effective with the time that we're spending just being busy. The solution out there is what, though, folks? What do we do to combat that? The averages are the averages, regardless of what the tools are. How do we start being able to bridge the gap to where we actually augment ourselves to produce more with the spending of more for the other technology?
Two things. Process and speed.
Process and speed. Time management is key.
Yep. Process and speed. Processes take care of time management. They 100% will solve your time management problem. Okay. Speed, meaning that how fast can I get the customer the information that they want? So if you're going to try to work on process and speed, you start with the process of what do I want, right? Still my business. And what do I, as the dealer, the owner of this store, the guy on the hook for the millions, what do I want? I would suspect that after we did a survey on this and we asked, what do you want from a CRM? And I would imagine that when it comes to a sales process, this is what every dealer wants. I think you'd have a hard time arguing it's not what you want. But I want to know in real time the speed when you're with an opportunity, and an opportunity being a call, an internet lead, a floor up, any type of chat session from my website. You as a salesperson are with that opportunity. Why do I want to know that? I bought it, man. And everything I buy, I want to know what the hell's going on with it. Yep. Bet your ass on it. The same way as if I buy a vehicle from the auction, I want to know where is it at in recon? When's it going to be on the lot, front line ready? You know, how old is it? And what do I got to do to get rid of it? No different. I bought that lead. I bought that opportunity. I either bought it. I bought your location, your sign, your whatever marketing you're doing, your website. These are all purchases. These are all designed to purchase opportunities. So you purchased that opportunity. Now I want to know, what did you do with that opportunity? And then what do you intend to do next to turn that opportunity into a sale? It's not rocket science, and it's not unreasonable.
Right.
They are not, for the salespeople on this call, they're not your customers anymore. They really never were. The ones that walked on the lot were never your customers. They were always the dealership's customers. I know that's not how you think if you've been in the business for a while. Then unless you're kicking in money for the marketing dollars, they ain't your customers. They are the dealership's customers, and you get the privilege of taking care of them as long as you work for that dealership. That's just the reality you live in today. Now, you want them to be your customers? Tell you what, stop taking ups, stop taking phone calls, stop taking leads. Go tell your dealer you want more commission per vehicle, and then you go start generating your own opportunities.
Hey, all
then
you
they can be yours.
Don't let this deter you from treating them like you're their customers, because the more you own them,
100%.
Sell you a car. So still think that way. I still want you to own that customer. That's what's going to get you a deal done.
Yeah, you need to own the experience of that customer for sure. You need to own that experience. You need to realize that how you take care of that customer. That 100%. The process has a lot to do with the experience, right?
Right.
But you can still do the process and do it like as an a-hole and end up not getting what you want. Right? I did the process. I was pissed off about it the whole way through, but I did it. You can't do that either. And again, you need to treat the customers the same way you do. The same. My dad told me a long time ago, you go to work for a guy, you go to work for him for 100%. If you can't work for him 100%, stop working there.
That's right.
Yep.
Amen.
That's the reality. As a salesperson, you go to work for the dealership 100% to make the customer, their experience to be at top level as you can possibly make it for that store, because you're helping the store, you're helping yourself. You are.
Well, Larry, you back to where we started this with technologies. You buy a new technology, the owner's in love with it, understands what he wants. So when that owner's out in the meeting saying to the team, hey, it's my store, I bought this technology, I think it's going to be great for you, it's going to be good for all of us. If he doesn't set that tone, it all starts to break down where we started earlier.
Yeah, and you don't just want to set the tone that day. It's got to be every single day from that day on, forever. Right. This is my process. I want to know in real time when you're with an opportunity, what happened to that opportunity and what you plan to do next to get it to a sale. That's what I want to know. It's not asking a lot. It's not even hard to do, but I want to know it.
Now with technology, it's not now.
No, the technology is very, I don't think we could make it any easier. I just don't see how.
we eventually we will find a way, because that's what we do as humans.
But
that doesn't necessarily mean, again, that we're going to get more efficient at it, or we're going to want to do it more.
But everything starts with the data. Everything starts with everything's got to be in one place where I can manage it. Yep. Whether I'm a salesperson or a manager or a dealer, I got to get if I'm the salesperson, I have to get all of my opportunities in one spot where I can manage it. I have to have a record and a documentation of all my opportunities. It's all the same. It has to start in one place. How do I get those opportunities? Internet leads are pretty easy. They come in automatically now. That's not a difficult one. Chats, you got to get the customer's name and number and name, email address, mobile number. Otherwise, how do you follow up? You're going to hear from your chat company. Oh, the whole point of being on the chat so they could be anonymous. Okay, that's great. But if you want to stay anonymous, then I can't help you much further than this one chat.
Right.
This is all I can do. Right? Calls, name, email address, mobile number. There's lots of tactics, lots of ways. We give them to our dealers all the time of getting a name, email address, and mobile number so that you can continue to follow up. But you can't not ask for it to be able to follow up. And then most importantly, floor ups. We talked about how to get it. It's really simple. We make it more simple by just pushing a button that says I'm with the customer. Yeah. That makes it really simple, right? But then when I get out there, I've got to have the confidence to walk up and say, "Hey, welcome to ABC Motors. I'm Larry Bruce, and you are? Great to meet you, Lou. Is this welcome back or welcome in? Let's welcome back. Great. When was the last time you were here? About 6 months ago. We change this floor up all the time. We've got the side-by-sides over here. We've got the street bikes down here. We've got the dirt bikes right next to those. We've moved the ATVs and utility vehicles over here. What were you looking for today? Well, I'm looking for a utility vehicle. Well, great. Follow me this way, and I'll get you right there and let you get to shopping. While we're headed that way, let me get you checked in. What's your mobile number? How hard is that? Mm-hmm. How professional is that? If you walk into an Apple store, it will be the exact same experience. What are you looking for? Let me get your mobile number so I can tie whatever it is we're doing today and make sure it works with your phone. It will be the same experience.
So let me ask you something, just from a dealership standpoint or from an Army logistics sergeant standpoint, right? If I have a particular mission to achieve, and I understand that each of my soldiers are going to carry a certain amount of ammunition, which means they're going to have a certain amount of kill potential at their capacity. Mm-hmm. I know what the average limitation is of them. Is it smarter for me to try to increase their penetration rate, make them be more efficient at what I already have? Within the automotive industry, we're going to say we have roughly about 5 decades worth of consistency in their production. that I should bet that's going to stay pretty regular? Or should I take on the challenge of making that increase? Which of the two is more value? It seems like it should happen more. Should I get more people that are going to do 10 cars consistently? Or should I get more people to hopefully maybe I can turn them into 15, 20 car a month people? Which is easier to do? Turn the 10 car guy into a 15 car guy, or turn a no car guy into a 10 car guy?
Let me make this more simple for you.
Ooh, I got this.
Yeah, let me make this more simple for you. It's even simpler than that. Let's start with making sure that all the guys I do have the same number of magazines. Okay. If they don't all have the same number of bullets, then we're already in trouble.
Right. They all have the same thing.
They all have.
Their initial issue is, here's your computer. Here's all of my cars you didn't buy. Here's all of my customers you didn't purchase a list for, you didn't buy. Here's all of the technology, tools, and other things and processes in place, and professionals that have years in service. You see the scars on their face. You see the stripes on their back from going through the rigorous life of being a car guy. Here's everything. You have the same that everybody else gets.
Here's the bullets they're missing in this equation. So
here's
the bullets they're missing is the training, the buy-in, the understanding of what the technology can and should do for them. In our case, just from a pure salesperson thing and what AI is able to do. If AI will literally do 80% of the manual job you were forced to do before that you hated, the parts you wouldn't do, log it up, put the notes in, record the vehicles, and all the things that you didn't do in real time. Technology is doing all that now. All you have to do is play along and understand the process, buy into the process. So now all you're doing is working low-hanging fruit. Somebody else is doing all the work you didn't like to do, so now you should do it.
I would submit to you that you guys are further along than that. You guys are you're higher than that. Let's start with just like I said, the basics. All right. You all have the same number of magazines now. I've given you all a computer. I've given you all a CRM that has the same capabilities as everybody in this building. I've given you everything you need to the tools you need to succeed. And those tools are not, I'm not giving you bolt action rifles. I'm giving you machine guns, right? So I'm giving you everybody's got the same machine gun. They all have the AR. They all have the AR. They have all got, 250 5.56 rounds. So we're ready to go, but I got to start first with, this is how you put the magazine into the gun. Let's start. Okay. Here's the mag, gun, click, racket. Okay. Make sure we're good. You're ready to fire. Here's how you take the safety off. I mean, it is much more simple and much more basic than you think. Now that I've got the magazine in the gun, I've racked around, I've got the safety off, I'm ready to shoot. Now you start teaching me how to aim. That's the part where you get really good at the welcome in, welcome back. You get good at it. You're not going to be good at that work track the first time you do it. Just like you're not going to be good with that AR, you're not going to put the first round in the middle. You're not. But as you keep firing that AR and as you keep doing it, no one says, shit, I couldn't bullseye the first time. I guess I'm done with this thing. I might as well get out. I'm pretty sure your gunnery sergeant's not going to see the humor in that. He's not. You will fire more rounds. Many more rounds. You will get out there and you will continue to work with that rifle until you are proficient. But here we get dealerships. I've literally had dealerships the first day start torpedoing the process because their salespeople didn't like it. You would never see that happen in the Army. You'd never see that happen in the military anywhere. You don't have to like my process. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to like me. That's not a requirement of your position. What is required is that you put that round in the middle of that bullseye. That is required. And the reason it is required, because if you ever put in a combat situation, that will save your life and the guy next to you's life on either side. Okay? That's why we do it. So when you talk about how do I get proficient, how do I take and make a 10 car guy a 20 car guy? Start with the basics. Get all of your customers in. Tell me what happened, what you plan to do next.
So, of course, the pushback is on car guy, just realism, right? The realism. I want to know, what can we really do? Because the question is, again, on our definition of insanity show is, well, in the military, if we're going to look at it at the military and we recognize this is what everybody's going to average, this is what the amount that they're going to consume, this is the amount of water that they need to have, this is all of these things. This is why I love that I do have this logistic background and understanding how to calculate all of these things, that what you're going to have is a consistent with this. So if the mission that I want to now achieve, that I would normally achieve with this amount of people, and you know what, has consistently been achieved with this amount of people, the average soldier is going to do this amount. Should I now take these tools to maximize the time that I'm getting out of a soldier? And I need more soldiers at this particular battle. I need more soldiers at this event in order to achieve more of a result using the tools that we've always had, because you still have the person that learned how to use that rifle, because we're going to just go ahead and call our CRM tool our rifle. Okay, that's the technology that sets us apart. So
it's like that.
15 years is just as efficient as the person who just graduated 3 months ago or after 3 months of training, right? They are both expert levels of that. Now, each of them are different battle tested, but they have each proven a measure of proficiency that is required for them to even be in the military. Same as being a salesperson. This is what it takes. You below this line, you're getting chopped. You're getting cut. Don't find yourself below that line, right? And if they find themselves below that line, they find their way out. It's the same way in the military. If you do not consistently qualify at the bare minimum, then they eventually process you out. Same as we do inside.
They're going to invite you. They're going to invite you to leave.
Here's my problem.
The part that I'm trying to bring in, in automotive as a question to the insanity that we have, is if I know that these guys are working 10 to 12 hours and they're really only effective with 3 to 4, how about I just get 2 people to
I see where you're going.
Fill up that 10-hour slot that only one person was getting one person's worth of work done. And you know what I know what I'm going to get out of that one person's worth of work? I'm going to get 10 cars a month out of that person. So how about I get 2 people inside of the same amount of time that rotate? Let me put some fresh legs in, because a lot of young people don't want to work as long as our predecessors and even us. And put 2 people inside of that same time slot that are always going to come in with fresh legs, just like a basketball coach would want to keep fresh legs on his court, because if he has a well lined up team, sometimes your superstars are all the ones that play. But we've never been coaching for a superstar culture of car guys, because you risk too much. Superstars.
I'm actually not mad at that idea. You get twice as many people to work half as much. They still have to do 10 cars a month. Maybe they don't get to 15 or 20, but then that's an interesting approach.
But right now I get 20 cars out of my 10 hours, just like I would look at it in the service department. How many hours can I get out of this space with this amount of technician?
Yeah.
What am I doing with my time? So as a person that looks at, okay, this is what I'm getting out of this particular section. This person's going to sit here 10 hours today. How about I just put another person to come in 5-6 hours after they come in, let them overlap. And then now I have 2 people inside of one slot, because remember, a salesperson manager should pay for themselves. They should be paid for because of their
100%.
production. So with that, if I take 2 people
again, I think you look at it. Yeah.
I'm busting at this piece, but give me a minute. I literally go into the same store here in town every Wednesday, and I literally am acting as if I want to see every piece, every disconnect, everything they don't love, everything they do love. And I can't tell you how many times I've watched the green peas there, not capable of pushing an orange button on their desk and or pushing an orange button on their mobile device to say, hey, I'm going to meet an unknown customer. Industry tells me that only 20 to 30% of my floor ups get logged. Let's start there. I love your idea. That's a whole different thing. But for me, talking about bullets, if I can't get somebody to get every single up that I paid for logged into the system, that's the definition of insanity. I watch it happen every week. Drives me crazy.
Well, Jeff, I love that point there, and I 100% agree with you there.
That's back to the same thing.
You're locked up, Larry. What'd you say? You locked up.
The efficiency side is. Can you hear me? Hello?
No,
Hello?
lock it up.
keep breaking.
It's not very efficient when you lock it up.
Yeah.
You're here.
How about
You now?
No doubt.
Yes.
I can hear the
Am
pen
I
drop.
locked up now? Okay. That was weird.
Nope.
You're good.
Okay, anyway, so long story short, I mean, you look at the efficiency. Yeah, and I'll go back to the military reference. The teams in the teams program, those teams have started to get smaller and smaller. You see sometimes tier 1 operators operating in 2s now. That used to never happen, but they operate in 2s with a tech. And the tech, his job is to, 1, communicate with the air forces, right? And the drone, because it's now 2 tier 1 operators, a tech, and a drone. So I've got a Reaper fly circling around. So the tech's job is to evaluate the situation. If there's a problem with the two guys on the ground, and they need to kill a lot of people all at once, radio in, have the Reaper take care of business, right? But they get more done with less people, and their reasoning for it is they put a lot of money and a lot of training into tier 1 operator, and right? They put a lot of money and a lot of training in that tech guy. If one of them gets killed, that's a lot of money gone out the door. They ain't interested in that. So they're working the other way. You equate that back to the car business. It's like, look, these two guys both have the same amount of even opportunities. Let's just say they have equal opportunities. Both of these guys have equal opportunities, and they've got a particular mission to take care of the hottest opportunities, the biggest threats on the ground. Just like a tier 1 operator, his job is to take care of the biggest threats that are closest to us on the ground. The tech's job is to look outside of what's immediate threat and find everything that may become immediate threat and eliminate it at scale. And that's exactly the same way, realistically, you want your technology to work. My technology is constantly looking for the mass opportunities, and my salespeople are taking care of the hottest opportunities, the most likely to buy right now. And this is a long time ago. You should look it up. There's an internet document. It's called the Clue Train Manifesto. It was one of the very first documents to let everybody know what the digital age, when digital marketing started to really become pervasive back in the early 2000s, what that was going to change. And basically, it comes down to one simple saying: marketing is a conversation. You can't talk at your customers. You now got to talk to them.
Amen to that.
Come on. It's awesome.
And yeah, the marketing, the AI's job is to look out here, just like a Reaper, find all of the ones that we can have conversation with, start having conversations. The salesperson's job, look at the immediate, intentional conversations. You're make them as intentional as you can with the information you have available to you. Just the same way a Reaper would, Hellfire is going to kill whatever the best information they have available to them at the time. Same thing here. It's going to target those customers, have a conversation with the best information I have available to me, try to turn those customers into wanting to have a deeper, more relevant conversation, and turn them over to a salesperson. And then your salesperson is going to take care of the most immediate opportunities to sell something. If you do that and you buy into that process versus I'm going to go build a BDC and all the BDC is going to go figure out who these people are. No, they're not. They don't have any more qualifications to go figure out who these people are than you do. The reality is that the technology's job is to see how they engage with the conversation I'm trying to start and determine which ones of these have the most qualified conversations that I need to turn over or not. Your salespeople, your BDC doesn't have that capability. They are looking at a CRM, looking at the last time somebody bought and making a determination, they must be in the market again now. No, you don't know that. You don't know that. They can get a little bit more information. They can make certain offers. Do you realize how expensive this is? 5 BDC guys in a decent sized store, that payroll alone right there, about $100,000 a month, all in.
Larry, taking an extension beyond what you said. So I get it down the funnel with all this AI technology with contextual messaging. I give them an opportunity to work the low-hanging fruit. They touch it 5 or 6 times. They decide, hey, I can't get it done right now. They drop it. So now the ability to have all that information in one place for a manager to now review unsold, review all the stuff in real time. They're uncovering tons and tons of gold on that, growing from the fringes as well. So
just think about it, you know, but you think about it today, the next generation of AI for us, LO, electronic language optimization, is now having very personal conversations with all the people that are in the dropped in and sold. And they're finding this one guy who dropped in and sold because he said he didn't get enough for his trade. And they're engaging that person as the manager of the store, saying, hey, I got some more. It turns out I've got a few wholesalers coming in today that particularly specialize in your type of vehicle. Any chance I can get you to come down today? Here's a link to make an appointment so I can put your vehicle in front of those wholesalers. They usually give between $2,000 and $1,000 more for a trade. Would that be okay? Or can I just give you a call and set up a time and take a look at it? Because that's what you were going to do anyway. Maybe you had that word. If you had that word track and you listened, but now there's a consistent word track. There's a consistent message being delivered, and it's being delivered in various different ways based on the customer's disposition with your store, whether or not they're existing or potential customer, or they're a conquest customer. They've never been in before, whether or not they have, what type of trade they have, what that trade actually does. Is it A, B, C, or D model vehicle for your dealership? All of this information goes into the message, and the message is completely personalized to that one person.
Mm-hmm.
So to Larry's point, I was going to say, I've been in the technology space and dealership world for over 15 years now. And we've always said, let technology do the heavy lifting. How far it's come with all this AI stuff and the ability to take all the stuff that we're not doing well and to take it to the level. This AI thing is insane of all the things it should do and make you a 15, 20, 30 car a month guy. It's crazy.
Yeah, the next version, adding LO and adding the AI, the next generation of AI we started out with a very rudimentary, very younger version of AI, but it still was very effective. Everybody got followed up on. Nobody didn't get followed up on. Let's start, again, you take it back to the military reference. If I give you a magazine, you slap the magazine in, you rack the round, and you take the safety off and you pull the trigger, it can't jam.
Mm-hmm.
They all have to work right, consistently, all the time. That's so right. If it consistently fires, I'm consistently more likely to stay alive. But then if it jams and I don't,
funnels to the bottom and sell more vehicles.
As long as you continue to engage all these people, what happens is the salespeople, they're already predispositioned to only handle the hottest customers. And they've got this thing in their head of what they think a hot customer is. And it's completely different than what you think a hot customer is, completely different what John thinks a hot customer is. And none of them know how well they're engaging with the website. None of them know how well they're engaging with the emails that are going out or the marketing that's going out. None of them know the engagement level of this customer. But somehow, because they were really nice to me and they didn't tell me to go get screwed when I called them up, they're a hot customer right now. That is not the definition of a hot customer. Just because they were willing to talk to you does not mean that.
I'll tell you what, it gets worse. We went through an exercise this weekend at a shared account. We looked through a profile of one of the customers. We watched an activity for 5 or 6 days. This customer literally chased them around, begging them to sell them a bike. They finally had to text. It's only to get a hold of him. And the next thing you know, the last call, they already said they wanted to buy the bike. 3-minute call on hold, dropped the call. We called the store and said, hey, we're concerned. Did you guys sell this bike? We're trying to help. You guys are avoiding a real live customer that wants to buy it. They're begging to buy a bike and we're just kicking ourselves in the shins.
Yeah. I mean, we found out from the dealer, they did buy the bike and they did eventually take delivery. But what had happened is that, there is a testament to the customer. He must have really wanted to buy from that dealership.
Yeah. They almost did it that way though.
And that's the sad part about
because when it came down to it, when it came down to it, the only way he could talk to him was with text. They would never pick up the phone call and they would never call him back. And he even said in one text, I remember distinctly one text said, hey, look, man, I just can't get down there to take delivery of the bike. I'm trying to take delivery, but I'm busy. Can I have my dad come? And yeah, sure. They said, sure, have your dad come on by. And then his dad couldn't get down there. So he sends another text. He says, hey, man, look, could you just deliver it to my house? I'll pay extra. I'm trying to take the thing you bought me and finish this deal, and you're making it so hard. What do you think his experience thinks of? What do you think he's going to, when he's asked, hey man, that's a cool Ninja, where'd you buy it? He's going to go, it was hard, but I ended up buying it down here. I did eventually get it. Yeah, it was okay. How was your experience? Are they good people? They're okay. He's not going to tell you're bad because you didn't make it hard. You didn't tell him, no, you're not going to do anything. But he's not going to go, no, they were freaking great. I couldn't get down there. They actually ended up, they charged me a couple $100, but they brought the bike to me. It was amazing. They dropped it off. You want to go even one better than that? Drop it off in the guy's driveway. Take a picture of you with him taking delivery of the bike. Share that out on social media. Yeah. Hey, just delivered this great bike to this guy over here. Come on.
Take it up one more level. Get a video with the customer there at his house.
Yeah,
I'm over here at John's house delivering his new Ninja right now. He's getting ready to go for a nice ride. Tell everybody about your experience. Bam.
Yes.
I think the point is we don't have to work harder. We need to work smarter for sure.
Amen to that, my friend.
Race, you can do that.
Amen.
I agree with you, man.
So this is, Lou, I think, I hope we're answering your question. This is how you get more, you get a consistent process. You take the two ordinary guys that would normally only sell 10, you give them an extraordinary process, and now these two guys sell 15, and I get 30.
Now, Lou, to your point, though, I want to dive into that more. What if we say it's a 20-hour-a-week job because everybody doesn't want to work longer than that, and you can earn more hours, but you got to be at 10 cars. 20 hours equals 10 cars, 10 bikes, whatever it is. Then you can earn more hours if you're engaged, but you got to be putting in 10-car work for your 20 hours.
That's right.
I'm with you. I'm
not
with
mad
you.
at that either.
Yeah, and so the concept
we've got a really good dealer on them.
To the market is, well, in the same. Let's go ahead and increase the efficiency of the people and do both. Do both. Get them into, because of the hour and the space. Even still, with the simplification that happens with the technology, they're still not working that long. They're just not. And
smoking and joking on point.
And we're cutting down on some time. So I think that this is a conversation that needs to keep happening. Part of a presentation I want to bring up to a bunch of dealers in seeing what this concept actually looks like. But I'm completely with you. If we're going to increase the efficiency of our people, engage it with the right processes and our technology, and you will propel them to newer heights, especially if you make it the standard. You can't say we're going to add this and everything stays the same. No, we're going to add this with the expectation to take it to the next level. And
here's what you have to do it.
I know that we're running fairly low on time, but I do want to throw one other thing out there that's been in the back of my mind. So with the data collection and the ability to really get everything into the system between ups and emails and phone calls, and now AI stacked on top of it. So we're getting 4 to 5 times more things into the system. Beyond that, AI now goes out and finds emails and phone numbers on things you weren't able to get. So we're double, tripling, and quadrupling the amount of good, clean data you have in the CDPs and the data lakes. Now, all you owners out there, think about what that means. Now you can start to contextually market to all these people you weren't getting their information before because it's important, but we have to explain to the sales guys and use the system the right way so we can get the good data and have it dispositioned the correct way. So now we can use it and go to social media and show the videos of the bikes and reach out to them contextually about something that matters to them.
Yes.
It's huge. It's built to succeed. We just all got to work together to figure it out.
Jeff, you just dropped an amazing little nugget there at the end. Thank you for sharing that. It's so true. It's that easy. And that's to the point of Larry saying, get 2 people who are selling 10, turn them into 15 a piece. The next thing you got 10 more cars. That's simple by doing little things like this, making it easy for them to communicate and to people that are ready to buy now and make them excited about it. And that's what this AI, that's what all this technology, that's what PSX digital can do for you right now. And you know what I'm telling you folks? Holler at me and Lou, because we can help your team get ready for that. That's something that we're very special about, what we do really well. We love helping teams get to the next level and utilizing the tools and tactics that are used today to make sure that you have a terrific future. So let's go.
And Fred, you guys always make them have fun. I've seen the dance videos. That's where it all starts. Have some fun, enjoy what you're doing, embrace it.
It's important.
Right. So speaking of embracing it, these are the dance moves to keep embracing, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us on the DealerCast 2.0 episode. We are going to
get my friends. Great info. Let's go.
On 3, everybody. If you've been insane, let's forget Focus Fly and change it up. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Forget. Focus.
Fly. And keep growing, baby.
Keep
on the job coaching.
Right.
Growing
and coaching and growing and coaching OJC.
Have some fun.
Have a good time, everybody. We appreciate you. Jeff and Larry are constantly keeping
Thanks, guys.
Going. We can't wait for you all to jump in on the next episode. We'll see you all next week. We're out.